Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukatali.
Good morning and welcome to Newsline. Today we are on location from Dambulla, where we are celebrating the new year. And joining me in this replica of a typical farmer's house is my colleague Sonali Wanigabaduge. Hello Sonali, and welcome onto the program.
Thanks Faraz, and a very good morning to you.
And we also have a rather special guest, a retired Grama Sevaka and now a farmer. And I'll let you introduce the rest of the introduction.
Thanks Faraz. Ayubowan Subodhasanak Piyadasa Mahatmaya.
Ayubowan.
ඔබතුමා ගොවි මහත්මයෙක් හැටියට මේ රත්මල් ගහ ඇල ප්‍රදේශයේ කටයුතු කරනවා. ගොවි මහත්මයෙක් හැටියට මොකක්ද මෙතන තියෙන ලොකුම ප්‍රශ්නය?
ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ ඇත්තටම ගොවීන්ගේ අස්වනු නෙලා ගන්න කාලේට. ඒ අස්වනු අලෙවි කර ගැනීමට අපිට නියම වෙළඳපොළක් ස්ථිර මිලක් ක්‍රමවත් වැඩපිළිවෙලක් නැතිකම.
So Faraz, as a farmer, what Piyadasa is saying is that they have no certified price for paddy.
Right.
There is no proper mechanism to ensure that they get a correct price.
Right.
So, what do you think, Faraz? I mean, isn't this the responsibility of the government to offer a certified price for paddy?
You see, this is the trouble. The government has embarked, not only this government, but even previously, the government embarked on a program where they agreed to give a special price, a guaranteed price.
That's right.
To purchase the paddy. Well, in between anything, you can't change the goalposts, which is what has appeared now. Clearly, there is a problem, and this government is unable, or the paddy board are unable to meet those commitments. So the farmers are at a loss, not only a financial loss. We, as you know, we met somebody else previously, and he told us that he's forgotten about selling the paddy to the government because he said that it was a waste of time. So he's taking a cut on, he's making less money now, and he's selling it on the private market.
At a loss. At
a loss. He says he's got nothing else to do. But he was fortunate because he didn't have to borrow the money to do that. He did it with his own funds.
Right.
So his costing was much less.
Yes.
But people who have borrowed money, and if it was from a private source, it would be at interest rates of between 8 and 10% a month.
That's right, and this is the situation that is faced by the majority of farmers.
Indeed.
They are in dire straits. Piyadasa mahatmaya අපිට කියන්න දැන් රජය විසින් සහතික මිලක් හම්බෙන්නේ නැත්නම් මොනවද කරන්නේ?
සහතික මිලක් නියම කරලා තිබුණාට සහතික මිලට මිලදී ගැනීම පිළිවෙලකට සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මින්ට පෙර ආතුව සහතික මිලක් තිබුණා සමුපකාර සමිති හරහා ගොවීන්ට නියම මිලට අලෙවි කරගන්න පහසුකම් ලැබුණා. දැන් සමුපකාර ව්‍යාපාරයේ බිඳ වැටීම සිද්ධ වුණා විවෘතාර්ථිකෙත් එක්ක. ඊට පස්සේ වී අලෙවි මණ්ඩලය වහලා දාලා තිබුණා. දැන් ඇරලා තිබුණත් ඒ කිලෝමීටර් 10කට වැඩි දුරක් මේ ගමේ ගොවීන් යන්න ඕන වී අලෙවි මණ්ඩල දෙක පැල්දාර කණ්ඩලෙමේ තියෙන්නේ. ඒ වී දෙන්න සාමාන්‍යයෙන් වී කිලෝ 500ක් විතර විකුණා ගන්න අක්කරයක් ගොවිතැන් කරන ගොවි මහත්තයෙකුට ඒ වී කිලෝ 500 අරගෙන යන්න වෙනවා කණ්ඩලමට හෝ පැල්ලෑරට. ඒ අරන් ගිහිල්ලා දියාම දෙන්න බැරි වුණාම දවසේ වියදම වැඩි. එතකොට විශාල පාඩුවක් සිද්ධ වෙනවා. අමතර වියදමක් කරන්න වෙනවා. අර සමුපකාර ව්‍යාපාරයේ විරුතාර්ථකයේත් එක්ක බිඳ වැටීම සිද්ධ වුනේ නැත්නම් සමුපකාර සමිති මගින් ගමේම සමිතියට වී මිලක රාතික මිලට. ඒක නැතිකම නිසා මුදල් අවශ්‍යතාවයේ සිංහල අවුරුදු වෙනවා අවුරුදු කන්නට ගොවින් කැපෙන්නේ. ඒක ඉතින් අවශ්‍යතාවයන් සඳහා පඩි ගෙවන්න ඕනේ. වෙන වියදම් ගෙවන්න ඕනේ අවුරුද්දට ගෙදර අලුත් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒක නිසා තොග වෙලෙන්දට ළඟපාත ගන්න වෙලෙන්දට ගෙදරට ඇවිල්ලා ගන්න වෙලෙන්දට ඉල්ලන මිලකට ගොවින්ට දෙන්න සිද්ධ වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒකෙන් ගොවින්ගේ ආර්ථික සම්පූර්ණයෙන් ඇද වැටෙනවා.
So according to Piyadasa Faraz, with the advent of the open economy, long years ago, the cooperative system collapsed. After which, now they have no choice but to travel over 10 kilometers, right, with the paddy to the paddy marketing board.
Right.
So they waste an entire day's toil on this, plus the transport cost, and if they can't give it to the paddy marketing board, that's just a loss.
So this free market works as long as it's not half-baked. And like a lot of things that this government have embarked on, they appear to be overly ambitious. And it is the people, like Mr. Pedasa here, who end up suffering. And the dear Prime Minister and his team are acting almost as though they're all suffering from collective Asperger's syndrome, where they don't care for the next man on the street, forgetting, of course, that people like Mr. Pedasa have voted them in. And I find that absolutely distasteful, because obviously the people have entered into a de facto contract with these politicians who came and saw them during the election period, obtained their vote by promises, and they have not delivered anything substantial or significant of value to the people who voted them in.
පියදාස මහත්මයා ඔබට මොනවද හිතෙන්නේ මේ ගැටලුවට මොන වගේ විසඳුමක්ද ඔබ දැන් දීර්ඝ කාලයක් තිස්සේ ගොවිතැනේ නිරත වෙලා ඉන්නවා ඔබ හිතන්නේ මොනවද මේකට කරන්න පුළුවන්
මේකට ඊටම පහසු මට හිතන ක්‍රමයේ අත්දැකීමත් එක්ක මගේ බලපුවාම දැන් මේ වී මිලදී ගැනීම වී අලෙවි මණ්ඩල අමතරව ග්‍රාමීය මට්ටමේ දැන් සමපකාර සමිතිය නැවත නගා හිටුවා. මොකද පෞද්ගලික පුද්ගලයන් දැමීමේදී අපි අර බලාපොරොත්තු දෙ ඉෂ්ට වෙන්නේ නැහැ. එම නිසා සමපකාර සමිති ව්‍යාපාරය තුළින් තවමත් සමපකාර සමිති ක්‍රියාත්මකව පවතිනවා. සමපකාර සමිති තුළින් වී මිලදී ගැනීමේ ක්‍රමයක් ඇති කරනවා නම් රජයට අපහසුතාවයටපත් වෙන්න වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ගොවි ජනතාවට අපහසුතාවයටපත් වෙන්න වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒගොල්ලෝ එතකොට වී අලෙවි කරගන්න පුළුවන් සම්පකාරය තමුගේ කිලෝමීටර් කමාරක් යන ගමක සම්පකාරයක් තියෙනවා ප්‍රාදේශිකයක් ඒ අනුව කරන්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් වී අලෙවි මණ්ඩලයෙන් හෝ මහා පරිමාණ ගබඩා වලට අමතරව පුංචි ගබඩා කීපයක් ඒ කොට්ටාසි තුල ඇති කරා නම් යහපත් ප්‍රචාරය ලැබෙන්න පුළුවන්.
So what Piyadasa says is that in his opinion, in order to solve this issue that is being faced by farmers across the country, in addition to the paddy marketing board, there should be centers for collection of paddy at more rural levels.
Right, so more collection points.
More collection points and at villages with less distance.
Right, well there you are. That's one take that we have from a farmer from the Dambul area. Sonali and I this morning we visited this area. It's in the heart of the cultural triangle of Sri Lanka, and the hotels are full. Tourism is obviously on the way up, but in spite of the rich culture and the historical significance of the whole area and the absolutely beautiful settings, we did notice that there was a almost complete lack of commitment to having a clean environment. We saw plastic bags, bottles and all sorts of rubbish littering this beautiful area. And Sonali, what do you think?
Well, Faraz, also in addition to the smashed up liquor bottles that we saw on the beaches and the plastic, lots of pollution, absolutely callous attitudes of, I think, local tourists, Sri Lankans. Something that struck me was disillusionment among the farmer community of this beautiful village.
Indeed, disillusionment, I think that's the right word, because I find it rather ironic. Some of this country's better and more expensive boutique hotels and so on are here, and tourism is on the way up. It's not only foreign tourists, but it's local tourists as well, all paying top dollar. And if there is no commitment to the environment from the people around here, and from the local municipality and so on, this golden egg may well burst and there would be nothing left. So I believe they need to be a bit more mindful of this. And do we have time, or have we come to the end of our program today?
Well, this half of it. Let's go in for a short commercial break, and let's join our viewers once again from a different location of this beautiful New Year festival from News First.
Wonderful. Welcome back to Newsline, where we are on location in Dambulla, celebrating the New Year. We are in. I'm joined, of course, by Sonali Wanigabaduge, my colleague, and we're in front of a structure called a pala. This is where farmers take refuge and seek refuge from wild animals, I suppose, including, of course, the dreaded, in this case, the dreaded elephants. We saw a lot of this during our Gammadda door-to-door campaign, of course. And we're also joined by a gentleman here who's going to give us a rendition, a kavi, to do with this structure.
That's right. Now, talking about this structure, Faraz, as you correctly said, it is where farmers seek refuge and protect their harvest. Because at night, late at night, it's impossible to stay on the ground and protect your harvest. So, we're joined by Veera Surya. He will give us his rendition of a Pal Kaviya. Veera Surya Mahatmaya, ara Pal Kaviya kiwa nang apita?
Pale gotin pal rakkan paduradani Vele gotin ini haduani aradani Leaya levi natuwa atuadani Pale gosin pal rakka paduradani
සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කොච්චර කාලයක් මේ පැලේ ඉන්නවද?
මේ පැලේ දැන් අවුරුදු 6ක් විතර ඉන්නවා.
Well, that was an interesting thing. Bomi Stuti.
හරි අපි ගිහින් එන්න වීර සූරිය මහත්මයා.
Well, as we do this program, what has really amazed me is all the happy faces of all these people here. In spite of the troubles, in spite of the hardships, in spite of the sort of rural problems which Gammadda door-to-door campaign has unearthed, a sense of hopelessness, helplessness, homelessness, and a lack of opportunity. What's happening is that these people have taken a break apparently from those troubles, and they are actually trying to bring a little bit of happiness, putting a smile on their faces. And Sonali, have you noticed that too, or is it just me?
No, Faraz, here's the thing. The Sinhala Tamil New Year brings about hope. And it's a very positive festival that is celebrated. And the News First Dambulugiri New Year Festival chooses to do just that. So all around us, we see happy faces, as you said, Faraz. And I think we'll be walking to what's known as the paddy storage unit.
Right.
This is where farmers who have finished their harvest store their paddy before marketing it.
I suppose we must find a lot of these dotted around the area.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But it is going back to this business of the government buying paddy. Well,
at a certified price.
At a certified price to bring some stability, to give some stability to the finances of the farmers and so on. Well, you know, those are all very good and noble causes. However, when the government embarks on such a program, it's obviously incumbent upon them to ensure they have the facilities and they have the money to do it. Only having the will to do something is simply not enough. You need to have the will to carry it through. So in between, if one changes the goalposts, the people are left bereft. They're left on an island without any hope.
And for us, I think our people are a little too used to being given promise upon promise.
That's right.
But then have these promises crushed halfway through, because there is no following up on a great deal of processes. There is no proper mechanism to carry a process through to its endpoint.
But I also think that as the prosperity of our country grows, and as people travel and they broaden their horizons, and with the help of the internet and so on, with the availability of information, the people are becoming more savvy, and they are becoming more aware that politicians, lots of them, are actually noted for making empty promises. And of course, empty vessels make the most noise.
Absolutely. But time and time again, we see these very people voting in yet another batch of politicians who do the same thing over and over again. So it's like a vicious cycle.
It is a very vicious cycle. And there is a sort of a lack of responsibility, which only sort of kicks in when reality kicks in, and reality kicks in when the government, the Paddy Marketing Board, can't, for example, buy or won't buy without explanation their produce.
Faraz, can I ask you a question? How can I purchase your vote? If I give you a bottle of liquor and a butt packet, can I purchase your vote?
No, certainly not.
Why? Because
I can buy those two things myself if I so wish to.
But what about the people who can't buy those?
They may well be persuaded to do that.
But isn't a franchise your own?
It is. That's true. But however, we must bear in mind, Sonali, you may be too young for this, but we must remember that there was one Prime Minister, a lady Prime Minister, Mrs. Bandaranaike, whose government promised to bring rice even from the moon. So, such were the promises then. And now we have a Prime Minister whose mindset is focused on a megapolis. Where is he going to get the money to fund a megapolis when he can't fund the purchase of paddy from these farmers who have toiled day in and day out to bring this harvest out? And then there are, of course, the forgotten people of Sri Lanka, the people in rural Sri Lanka, all over the island, from Hambantota to Kilinochchi, from the east to the west, from the central plains, the central hills, everywhere. There is an abject poverty.
Yes, Faraz. But I need to bring out a point here. Before both of us were born, Faraz, there was one queen who said, if you can't eat bread, eat cake.
Indeed.
But is that what is happening now? Is that what is happening now? Because are we given promises which can't be fulfilled?
Well, the people are getting cleverer, and these promises won't hold too long.
However, are the people aware enough to hold accountable the government?
With the help of networks such as Newsfirst, Newsline, Pathikara and Ilakya and Satana and Shakti TV and our radio, we are taking the message of responsible voting to the public. And it's a process, but the process is in play.
Yes, so only time will tell whether people will realize the importance of their vote, of their role in electing responsible government, in ensuring that the elected government fulfills the promises that they came in to do.
Well, as Sri Lanka virtually the whole of Sri Lanka goes on holiday during the month of April. God knows what it does to production, but anyway, everybody's having a good time. They've probably put aside their troubles on the back burner. But come May, reality will start kicking in, and during that time, we urge you to be aware of the policies and to petition your members of parliament and your provincial councillors and ensure that your rights are seen to and that politicians deliver upon their promises.
Yes, Faraz, and I think this is a very good note on which we can leave our viewers to ponder on these thoughts.
Thank you very much, Sonali. And from Dambulla, this is Newsline. Thank you for having watched us. Please continue to watch us. And we have many programs lined up for you of great value, including, of course, the Panama Files. On that note, thank you, take care, and God bless.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.